5,000 kilometers of Saudi Arabia's most grueling terrain. It's the Dakar Rally. Broadcast brought to you by Toyota Gazoo Racing.
All the pressure's on me to perform the next day when I have to open, so super excited for the next week.
It's beyond expectation leading the Dakar after the first week.
We did everything as we should, and we are here with this margin.
Welcome to Dakar 2025. Welcome to week 2 of the toughest rally raid in the world. They've seen it all. They've struggled on all types of terrain. Dunes, gravel, fast tracks, rocky tracks, and so much dust.
And so we embark on the second week of Dakar 2025. In the bikes, Daniel Sanders has a commanding lead, but his rivals won't be giving an inch between here and Shubaita.
Just got to try and keep to the same plan and same approach, and focus on the road book. And we're starting in 6 today, so it's in a good spot, and it's going to be difficult these next couple of days of navigation, so got to stay focused.
The top 8 are really close in time, so looking to make a good push this week and hopefully get ourselves on the podium.
We're just going to try to keep consistent at least until the June stages, and then at the June stages start putting the hammer down. But this is Dakar, anything can happen, so let's see what the week holds for us.
Well, the big news overnight was that Kevin Benavides has decided to pull out of this Dakar after completing the first week. He needs more time to recover from his serious injuries last May, but he'll stick around to support his brother Luciano and the KTM team. It was really hard for me to make this decision, and especially to be here in the morning without my riding gear on, but I think it was the right decision. There was much more to lose than to gain. I'm sure I could have finished the Dakar, but the risk was too big. I prefer to bow out with positive memories, keep working, and get back to riding the way I like. Stage 6 is very much a stage of two halves. Officially, the special is 605 kilometres, but it features a transfer of 172k in the middle, which means there will be 433 against the clock. It'll be rocky and stony before the transfer, and then into some sand and dunes. It'll be a long old day in the saddle, including liaisons. They have around 850 kilometres to cover. Well, Ross Branch told us this morning that anything can happen on the Dakar. Unfortunately for the reigning world champion, his involvement came to an end after a crash at kilometre 48. After Branch had gone to ground, Ricky Brabeck was first on the scene and he rushed to inform a nearby helicopter crew. Branch was soon airlifted out of the special and luckily he was well enough to walk. These shots taken by one of our Dakar photographers are reassuring. Either way, we wish Ross a very speedy recovery. Well, sadly, he wasn't the only Rally GP biker to withdraw from the Dakar today. Bradley Cox also crashed after just 100 metres. He kept going, but later stopped of his own accord to get an examination, and he also decided to step off the bike. We also hope that Bradley recovers quickly, and we look forward to seeing both him and Ross back in action soon. Now, this hasn't been the Dakar Aaron Murray will have been hoping for. The South African won last year's Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge ahead of Branch, but he's been hindered by lower back pain and some technical trouble. He came into today's stage over 3.5 hours down on Sanders. But the rest day obviously did Aaron good. He was only 7 minutes off the pace today in 11th place. Only one man is below Murray in the standings, and that's Mason Klein, over 9 hours back. He's had technical problems with his Covey and he wasn't able to see properly due to conjunctivitis. Now, for a while today, he was posting the fastest times of anybody out there, raising hopes of a first win for the Chinese manufacturer, but he faded over the dunes and eventually came 7th. The frustration was palpable.
I'm not good at dunes. I just can't do it, I guess. I need more practice for sure. It's kind of my first time in the dunes, well, since last Dakar, really. So, dang it, man.
Well, what about our overall leader, Daniel Sanders? Now, the Australian said he didn't want to be too high up the stage standings today because tomorrow is set to be a very tough one. He got a little bit lost at the beginning and then just tried to settle down into a rhythm after the rest day. He ended up in 9th place, but he only lost 5 minutes 43 to the winner, and he remains comfortably on top. There was another impressive showing today from the Stage 3 winner, Lorenzo Santolino. The Sherco man spent quite a bit of the day cruising with Pablo Quintanilla, though he said it wasn't always easy to keep pace with the Chilean in the dunes. After cruising in the early sections, Lorenzo pushed on to finish 6th on the stage. He climbs up now to 9th place overall. Tosha Sharena was understandably exhausted after spending more than 800k on the bike today. The Spaniard set off in 8th place, so he had a few lines to follow, but he still made a couple of minor navigation errors. He remains in 2nd place overall and gained a few minutes on Sanders, but he also acknowledged that the gaps were pretty slim today. Nacho Cornejo spent most of his day pushing with Luciano Benavides. As the sole remaining Hero Factory rider, he wants to do his teammates Buhler and Branch proud in this final week. The Chilean was in the frame for victory today, but lost some time over the dunes and had to settle for 3rd, missing out by 51 seconds. He's now 8th overall. This was a superb performance from Adrian van Beveren, who opened for the entire stage. He was only caught by Benavides and Cornejo with 5k to go. The Frenchman recovered the stage win from Luciano on the rest day when his speeding penalties were overturned, and he really made the most of it today, picking up a maximum of 6 minutes 11 seconds in bonus time. An awesome day for VBA, 2nd on the stage and 3rd overall. But it wasn't quite enough for the stage honours, which went to Brabeck by just 23 seconds. The American was especially strong in the dunes, turning a 3-minute deficit to Klein into his first victory of this edition. His first thoughts at the finish line were for Branch.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. I'm super happy he's okay. Only 6 more days, so, you know, the finish is looking better and better each day, but Yeah, we'll keep fighting to the end. The times are unbelievably close. There's still a chance at the podium. So for now, that's what I'm aiming for. And we'll stay positive and we'll keep the rubber side down.
3 Hondas in the top 4 today with Brebeck, Van Beveren and Schreiner. Sanders down in 9th place, but not losing too much time ahead of tomorrow. His lead is now 11 minutes and 46 seconds over Schreiner, with Van Beveren third at 19:11.
Le premier au classement général, Fabrizio Meoni.
20 years ago, on this date, a legend of the Dakar left us. Fabrizio Meoni had won the rally 2 times when the race was still in Africa, conquering the hearts of all the Dakar followers. A man, a legend, still very present in the minds of his former rivals and teammates.
When he went on his bike, he was a tiger.
I still think he was one of the best. He was so clever in navigation. If we got lost somewhere and Fabrizio went one way, we followed him.
We call him TGV. You know, on the start of one stage, Cyril Desprez was in front of me. I start seconds. 4 minutes later was Fabrizio. And Cyril said, in 10-15 minutes, TGV will come. Bike passed me. I didn't see even a number, and I was 177 kilometers per hour. I think he was more than 200 kilometers per hour.
You could hear him take off on the long straights, and we all knew it was him. He was so fast.
Everybody remembers these days when the beginning of the GPS, merda GPS, merda GPS.
Merda! Merda! Maledetti GPS di merda, 2 GPS.
An Italian character, a guy that was really full of emotion.
A magical guy, a magical rider, passionate about what he was doing, passionate about everything.
Having him as a friend, I believe you can go to everywhere with.
He was the friend of the privateers.
Very nice, special character.
He was a star during all of my career, really a star.
Of course, he's one of the biggest legends of this rally.
The rest is over. Back to it then. Edgar Canet aiming to defend his overall Rally 2 lead. Tobias Ebster at nearly 17 minutes down, while Michael Doherty in third had to make up just over half an hour. 7 specials to be fought out, but no room for errors. After 100 kilometres of pure speed, Dushan Derjai had jumped from 11th to set the fastest pace. Akeem Fisher, he left the others reeling. Could the multiple Czech motocross champion keep it up until the finish? The Dakar isn't only for those fighting at the front, it's also about the adventure and challenge of making it to the finish. 76th last year, Max Pianucci is this time on course for the top 50. A keen equestrian using abnormal horsepower to try and make it back to the bivouac. 31st in his first attempt at this mental and physical examination, Jérémy Miroir back for more of the same. A best finish of this edition, 10th in Rally 2, inside the top 30. While it's about pushing the limits, it's a sport that brings high risks. Malmote rookie Damien Batelet keeping that in mind. I tell myself I need to stay calm. It's not always evident as I'm really competitive. It was a promise to my family before I left because the sport is dangerous. I'm determined to finish. Arunas Gelans Ninkas is loving life back on 2 wheels after co-driving in the T4 class last year. The Lithuanian 13th on the special and inside the top 20 overall. From 50 kilometres, it was a battling reunion of former teammates, but still strong friends. Konrad Dabrowski trailing Jacob Agerbright. and some friendly rivalry adding extra enjoyment into the stage for the pair. The Pole, Dabrowski, edging the American at the finish, just outside the top 20 riders on the day.
It was so fun because we could, kind of mess with each other. I would, wave at him and he would wave at me, and we'd pass each other when we make mistakes, and it's just fun to ride together.
Tony Mulek with a blistering pace from 12th to the top 3 in the opening 40 kilometres. In the end, the Sloven snapping up a podium finish and just 18 seconds off second. In part because a crash from Edgar Canet. The Rally 2 leader went down, but unlike some of the GP Rally riders, was able to continue. A scare, but did well to limit the damage. It was a difficult day. When I had the accident, I wasn't sure I'd be able to finish, but in the end I'm here in one piece. I feel good. There are 6 stages to go and I'll have to push hard. An unforgettable day for Derjai, second and only 1 minute 4 seconds off victory. That went to Tobias Ebster, into the lead at nearly 200k and never let go. A moment to share with his family, mixing it with the big boys, 10th overall in bikes.
My family is here, my uncle and my cousin, which is really cool. Of course, this motivates me also a lot. Hey, it's the toughest race in the world. I'm around P10, nothing to shame about. I'm not a factory rider, still a privateer, but I'm going to be there.
Ebster leading the way for his 5th podium and 3rd win. Derjai with a sensational second and Mulek finally on the bottom rung. Canet's lead slips to 11 minutes over Ebster. Doherty slips to 9th though, meaning Romain Dumontier is into the overall top 3.
In 1983, discovering the Ténéré in a sandstorm. It was our first time crossing the Ténéré, so we stopped in Dakar and set off from there the next day. And all of a sudden, we were in a sandstorm.
Et là, tout à coup, tempête de sable.
The Ténéré was marked out with black metal poles every kilometre, but because we couldn't see anything, we found ourselves in a group of 10 bikes and decided to ride together in a line. The first person to see the pole would raise their hand and the others would follow.
Is this the right way to Agadez? Have you seen any poles? Which way, right or left? Is this the way the cars went?
And so we arrived at the tree of Ténéré, where there was a refueling station. How did we get here? From over there? We were refueling with a hand pump, but of course it's not ideal for the race if everyone's just waiting around. So our group split up, although I stayed with Christine Martin and another rider. I suddenly realised I was at the top of a dune and I fell to the bottom of it. Luckily it wasn't very high, so no injuries and we could carry on.
We need to let someone know as soon as possible. I don't know what to do. He's got a broken arm. Do you know where he is? No, because we got completely turned around. We're lost.
So we kept riding in this sandstorm, and finally we got to Agadez. We definitely had, I don't know if it was luck or skill, but we made it to the finish inside the time limit.
After the rest day, the drivers were eager to go at the start line. And as ever in Saudi Arabia, no one is more popular than Yazid Al-Raji, second overall coming into today's stage.
And everything is under control. Need you calculate every second, every idea to need not only this speed for next week. You need speed and clever strategy to not make it a mistake to lose a lot of time.
After winning stage 5, it was up to Seth Quintero to open today's stage. Despite it being a long stage, the field spread was fairly small, so Quintero ended up 12th, despite being 13 minutes off the pace. It has very much been boom or bust in this rally for Quintero. He's either finished a stage in the top 3 or not in the top 10. Today was one of the latter. There was a huge accident for Guerlain Chichery. Running in the top 10 overall, this accident has knocked him out of the running. His co-driver Alex Winnock called in for helicopter assistance as Chichery was taken for precautionary checks. We went on a little step and it lifted us up, and then we went for a roll. 3, 4, 5 rolls. Nothing too bad, but Guerlain already had neck issues, so I had to call for the rescue. Chichery has shown pace this rally and has had 2 second places on stage, but his 2025 adventure appears to be over. Second overall, Yazid Al-Raji. He started the day 10 minutes off the rally lead, and over the course of today, chipped that down to 7 minutes. There was some drama for Al-Raji on the liaison as he had to repair a damaged tyre with assistance from Saoud Variawa. But on the special, there were no such dramas and he was able to finish 5th. Matthias Ekstrom lost ground today. The Ford M Sport man started the day 3rd, 20 minutes off Henk Laterken's lead. But over the course of the day, he dropped time to Laterken, Al-Attiyah and Al-Raji. He's still 3rd overall and still within touching distance, and will start further back on the road than his rivals for tomorrow's outing. The Swede had some fun, chasing and passing a few rivals. Henk Laterken has held on to his overall lead after stage 6. He finished 7th on the stage, but only 6 minutes down on the winner. The Toyota Gazoo Hilux, like a lot of the top cars, was almost entirely rebuilt over the course of the rest day, with the team even running out of stickers for the car at one point. Such were the challenges of the first week. In a non-works Ford Raptor is Martin Prokop. The Czech driver is back again for the All-Engivo car team and is running 14th overall at the start of the day. 4th on stage 1 was his best result of the Dakar so far. Guy Botterill was flying in the early stages of today. The South African finished 6th last year, the best rookie, but so far this season has struggled a little. That may be due to his navigator from last year, Brett Cummings, reuniting with Henk Laterken. Botterill led the majority of the stage, but ended up finishing 4th. The highest ranked MD rally coming into today was Christian Lavier. Running 17th overall after a strong showing yesterday, the Frenchman is using all his experience from his previous 22 Dakar appearances and is performing consistently. Nasser Al-Attiyah started 2nd on the road. After 30 kilometres, he was opening the stage, having passed Quintero. And the Qatari was sweating at the end of the stage for the first time this Dakar. The team made no setup changes on the rest day, but Al-Attiyah has made a rhythm change. For the second week, he's going flat out. Until today, it had been a solid Dakar debut in the ultimates for João Ferreira. The 25-year-old Portuguese finished second in the W2RC event in Portugal last year and has picked up a couple of top 10s so far on this Dakar. But today came his best Dakar result, finishing in second place, just 94 seconds off the win. That win, though, went to Guillaume de Mévius. Toyota's grip on every stage so far is over, as X-Raid Mini secured a 1-2, as de Mévius won ahead of his teammate Ferreira. It had been a rough first week for de Mévius, with a plethora of punctures and mechanical problems. But victory in this stage moves him up to 13th overall, albeit almost 4 hours off the lead. That's what the rest day is for. It's to do a reset. I hope we've reversed the spiral. We had quite a few bad moments during the first week, and now we hope to have good moments during the second week. Nani Roma crept into the top 10 today for the first time this Dakar, while Rokas Pachuska had another strong result in 6th. But an X-Raid Mini 1-2 for de Mévius and Ferreira was the story of the day. 7th on the stage means Laterken holds on to his overall lead, even though it's now cut down by 3 minutes. With 30 minutes covering them, it's very much a 4-horse race going into the second week. After finishing 8th last year, this hasn't been the Dakar that Benedictus Vanegas was hoping for. But whatever the result, the Lithuanian is a joy to have around the bivouac.
My 13th Dakar now. Stockholm syndrome. Kidnapper kidnaps a person, and after some time, this person starts to have feelings for kidnapper. Dakar is kind of kidnapper, but you cannot run away from that. I mean, you have to be back. We made Dakar so popular in Lithuania, so 98% of population knows Dakar and 70% is interested. There is no other country in the world where Dakar is so popular than Lithuania. When I was a young racer or rally driver, I said now, Dakar is not interesting for me, it's for pensioners. 1627. I'm a fast driver. And here you have to be a smart driver. Everything changed when I changed the attitude to Dakar as a competitor. And you know, young people do not win Dakar. You need to be wise enough to win, you know, because it's not 100 meters of running, it's 100 kilometers. When I'm describing Dakar to the people, I say, you know, Dakar is like a zipped version of life. What happens for you in Dakar in 2 weeks? Usually, it happens for a normal person living normal life, maybe in 5 years. It's a good possibility to know yourself better. Dakar is a long journey, and during this long journey, you have to be smart enough and not to do some very bad things. Every incident is a mistake. There is no other chance to get experience than doing mistakes. Okay? Huh? And of course, if we're talking about worldwide reach of our Salto Mortale, that was really something special. I mean, it was all over the channels, all over the world, yeah, right. I think, you know, this top 8 result is fine, but we want to go more. This number is 5 for sure. It was always very competitive, but what it is now, it's really something very special. Everyone is a philosopher, but only philosophers knows that. And I think Dakar is a philosophy as well.